What's good, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Press Box. I'm your host, Russ Morris, and I'm a sports contributor to the Post-Dispatch, the Floyd County Hesperian Beacon, the Texas Spur, Caprock Courier, the Knox County News Courier, and I'm here in Austin for the 2026 UIL State Track Meet. Today was day one for the meet. Took place with the 3A and 4A schools. I wasn't there for it, of course. I'm covering. I'll be there tomorrow and Saturday. I'll be there tomorrow for Post, Lockney, and Floydada. And then on Saturday, I'm there for the majority of all of the 1A schools. Jayton, Monday, Guthrie, Spur, you name it. There's a lot to get to Saturday, but we'll get to that as we inch closer to it. But for now, let's go ahead and get going with the latest news of the day. And so, as you see on your screen right now, Thursday was today, which was the 3A 4A meets. Tomorrow morning will be the 2A and 5A, and then Saturday will be the 1A and 6A. Also on Friday will be the wheelchair events for the track meet. So it's going to be crazy. It's going to be jam packed. It's going to be wild. It's going to be fun. What's going to be a pain though, leaving, is George Strait concert is going to be later tomorrow night at the Moody Center. So it's going to be packed with parents, media, schools trying to leave, and then people coming in at the same time. So it's going to be crazy. But we got some key results from day one at Mike A. Myers Stadium over at the campus of the University of Texas in Austin. So bear with me as I read these off. Starting with 3A in pole vault, we have Max Gervin from New Diana. I wrote him down only because of this jump that he did in pole vault, 17.2 and a quarter. Dangerfield's boys won the sprint relay with a time of 41.17. Canyon, Addison Bristow took first place in the 800-meter run. Excuse me. In the 3A 110 hurdles, Slayton Hallmark from Wall came in second. Also in 3A, Gabriel Maldonado Chavez from Slayton, he came in eighth. Adelia McNeil from Lubbock Estacado from 4A came in third in the girls 110 hurdles. Jim Ned took second in the girls 4x2 with a time of 142.90. Wall took second in the boys 4x2 with a time of 126.10. In 4A, Emmett Stewart came in second, and Baylor West came in eighth, both from Canyon. Kaya Phillips from Brownwood came in second in the girls 200 meter with a time of 23.66. 4A, Iverson McGuire from Lubbock Estacado came in second in the boys 200 meter with a time of 21.29. Shallow Waters girls came in fourth in the girls mile relay with a time of 3:57.45. In 3A, Wall came in fourth, Jim Ned fifth in the boys mile relay. And then Canyon took first place in the boys and girls mile relay. Shout out to Seminole, who wound up finishing fifth. Final standings from day one. Your top three for the 3A girls were Randolph, Holiday, and Franklin. For the boys, Holiday, Wall, and Edna. Canyon is the state champs in the boys and girls. Rounding out the boys is Austin Johnson and Dallas Carter, and in the girls is Dallas Lincoln and Tyler Chapel Hill. So congratulations to all those that competed today, day one of the UIL state track meet. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on over to some collegiate stuff. So as you see on your screen going quickly are the top 16 seeds for the NCAA softball tournament. That is taking the regionals will take place this week. Uh, Alabama is the number one overall seed, followed by Texas. Gosh, I have that written down. Let me wait. Yeah, so Alabama is the number one overall seed. I'm going to read it as it comes across the screen on the ticker. Uh, Texas is second, Oklahoma third, Nebraska fourth, Arkansas fifth, Florida sixth, Tennessee seventh, UCLA eighth, Florida State ninth, Georgia 10th, Texas Tech 11th, Duke 12th, Oklahoma State 13th, Oregon 14th, Texas A&M 15th, and LSU 16th. Now, here's the thing for my Red Raider fans back in Lubbock. Texas Tech is grouped together with Florida. So if Texas Tech is able to make solid work of their regional in Lubbock, they will then play their super regional round in Gainesville against the Florida Gators. Now, that's kind of interesting. Uh, Mia Williams, one of the batters for Texas Tech, she transferred over to Tech from Florida. Her dad is the nickname of White Chocolate, Jason Williams. And he's a graduate of Florida, so that's going to be interesting. But the way Texas Tech can host a super regional, they would need Florida to somehow lose and be eliminated in their regional. If that happens, because Tech is the higher seed remaining, if they were to win, if they are to get out of the Lubbock regional, Texas Tech would then host a super regional. So that's going to be something interesting to watch. Now, I know what people are thinking. How is it that a school that was ranked in the top 5 or 6 all year long wound up getting an 11 seed? Well, there were games this year that Texas Tech left a lot to be desired on the softball field, and I'm sure Jerry Glasgow would say the same thing. The losses to Arizona State, not only in the Big 12 championship, but earlier in the season, as the year was winding down, they lost over in Tempe. Well, they also left a game. They left runs on the board in Tucson as well. There was a game earlier this year where they lost to UTEP. So it's stuff like that. So when you're looking at the spring sports, the poll, the top 25 does not matter. All that the top 25 is there for is specifically for the media. It is for media purposes only, just to give talking heads a reason to say, hey, these are what look to be the best teams in the country. But if you peel back what the selection committee actually looks at for softball, it's the RPI. So there were some schools that were playing in their tournaments this past weekend, and Tech got the results they needed. Tech needed Texas to make quick work of Georgia, and which they did. But if Tech had won the Big 12 championship, they would have been right there between UCLA, Tennessee, and Florida State for that 7, 8, and 9. I don't think their RPI wasn't strong enough for them to be a top 5 seed. But hey, I mean, it is what it is. We move on. Some other big news that was coming out of college football over the weekend. Earlier in the week. Texas Tech and the Big 12 will be showcased on Thanksgiving night. The battle for the saddle between Texas Tech and TCU, that game will be played on Thanksgiving night at 7 o'clock at Cody Campbell Field at Jones AT&T Stadium over in Lubbock. That would be a fun one. So there's 2 weekday games that Texas Tech has on the schedule this year. Their game against Houston will be played on Friday, September the 18th, and that will be played at Lubbock as well. and then to end the year, uh, they will play TCU out on Thanksgiving. But which is good because the game that night, I think the game that later that night, I believe I believe I heard them say that's the Chiefs and the Bills have the Thanksgiving evening slot on NBC. I'll have to go back and look at the full schedule release, but I know one of the biggest concerns that people had was if Tech is going to play TCU on Thanksgiving, how is the Big 12 going to work around the Cowboys being played? Because it was announced first on Monday that the Cowboys and the Eagles are going to be playing on Thanksgiving. So that that historical rivalry is going to be renewed, and it's going to be amped up to the umpteenth degree with the two playing on Thanksgiving in the middle of the afternoon. But yeah, there's just been a lot going on this week. The full schedule was released for the NFL. I'll let you guys see that on the screen here pretty quick. Actually, here's some. That's old NFL news. I'm sorry about that, guys. There we go. So the NFL released the full 2026 schedules for all 32 teams. The headliner was the Cowboys and the Eagles. They will play on Thursday. And then, of course, we're here in Austin for the UIL state track meets. So this is going to be pretty fun. Looking to see how everything comes together. Uh, Going back to the state track meet, did you guys see those dates there on the bottom of the screen? Um, Something I think would to be watched for. Mason Wright tomorrow from Post. This is his fourth consecutive straight appearance in the shot put event, but he's also qualified for the discus for the first time in his career. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does. Mason is the reigning state runner-up in 2A in the shot put. So let's see how he does. Floyd Data's qualifier is Toby Zapata in the wheelchair shot put. He will throw a little after noon um, on tomorrow. And then Daniel Alvarado from Lockney, he's the regional champion in the 400-meter dash. He will run later to cap off the night here in Austin. Also going forward, Jayton, as a team for their boys, they finished in second last year, I believe, at the in the team standings for the state track meet. They're bringing a lot of guys back for their relays. Another girl to watch is Maddie Francis from Silverton. Want to give her a shout out as well. By herself, guys, she was the only representative for Silverton last year, and she took home fourth place. She was the 1A girls athlete of the meet. So think about that. She basically won the MVP of the 1A girls state track meet. It was impressive to watch. I believe her sister also qualified as well. Maddie Francis, I believe, is a senior this year. So it's going to be interesting to see how she closes out her uh, high school career. I think she's got a great shot at repeating in a lot of events. Um, but yeah, just to go back to what we talked about earlier, congratulations to Canyon High, not Canyon West Plains, Canyon High, the Canyon Eagles. They took home first place in the boys and the girls team standings. So congratulations to them showing up, showing out. Also, Brownwood's girls, they placed in every single. Sorry, not just placed. Their team gained points in every single relay. They finished fifth in the girls sprint relay. I saw they finished in sixth in the 4x2 and I think they came in fifth again. And the girls 4x4. I'll have to double check. But anyway, from the results that I gathered, it was a awesome day one, as it should. When you have schools like Stephenville, Seminole, Canyon, Wall, Jim Ned, uh, Dallas Carter, Tyler Chapel Hill. When you have those schools all competing against each other, it's going to be fun. But so you can watch the events live on MileSplit. Now, I don't know how that works if you need a subscription to watch, but if you go onto MileSplit and you type in UIL 2026 state, just to give you an idea of what to search for, you can follow along with the live scoring updates throughout the day. I highly recommend on Saturday. If you're not interested in the 1A stuff, I highly recommend uh, getting the tracker on and just watching along with these 6A boys 100-meter dash, 200-meter dash, sprint, sprint relay, 4x2 relay, and the mile relay. Guys, the mile relay last year was awesome to watch. Duncanville was in first place throughout the entire meet. Their guys stumbled at the on the handoff at the start finish line. Well, then here comes the El Paso Franklin. They're running right behind them last year, and the Duncanville runner drops the baton, and he still finishes half a lap ahead over the second place runner in El Paso Franklin. It was wild just to see those athletes up close and personal. And the way the wind is being affected today, a lot of the times that I read, those are wind aided times. So it's basically added like a second or two to their normal time. So, but just imagine those runners, because it's the 6A schools that we feed our Olympic teams towards. So you're watching future collegiate track and field stars and possible future Olympians running here at the state track meet. It is fun to watch if you haven't seen it in person. But just if you're going about your day, just at some point just stop and check the times, because it's going to be something to behold. Also, we just last thing before we end it off here. Um, Softball, UIL softball, they're in the midst of putting the state semifinals together. We have one result already. One team has already clinched for the state semifinals. Number 5 Cisco defeated number 2 Floydada yesterday in Ira, 2-0, and Cisco makes its first ever trip to the state semifinals. Floydada once again has their season end in the regional final. Both teams yesterday, that was the farthest that either team had gone, and Cisco had a strategy throughout that game, and they were going to win the game based on solid pitching and defense. And what I mean by that is we've seen Floydada dominate teams, and even in their third game against number 9 Colorado City last week in the regional semifinal. Yeah, Colorado City walked off game number 2 to win it, but Floydada hit 3 or 4 home runs just to wind up tying the game. So Floydada has power in their bats. They've had power all year long, but they ran into good pitching from Cisco. The Cisco pitcher, Aubrey Corpus, she didn't give the Floydada hitters anything to launch. There was one home run hit in the entire series, and that came from a girl by the name of Peyton Wisenhunt from Cisco, and she hit a solo shot line drive over the center field fence. Um, So either way, congratulations to Cisco. Now, just to put a pin in this conversation, both Cisco and Floydada were ranked in the top 5 in the state of Texas all year long. Floydada at one point was ranked first in the state. Cisco, they were ranked in the top 10 majority of the year, and it wasn't until here lately that they took the 5th place spot going into the playoffs. So I know that the Texas Girls Coaches Association, their top 25, they split as soon as they split the rankings as soon as the district championships are certified. Sundown, the reigning 2A Division 2 state champions, they are still alive. They walked off Haskell last week to get into the regional final. I'll have more scores and updates for that tomorrow night. I'm gonna try to come back live if I'm not wore out from the day's events tomorrow. I'm planning on doing a quick show tomorrow night, and I'm planning on doing one Saturday before I head back home to post on Sunday. So but yeah, that'll do it for this edition of the Press Box. If you enjoy the conversation, please like and subscribe and also share. This will be also available on Facebook and YouTube uh, for you to watch and see as many times as you want. So yeah, this will do it for day 1 of the UIL State Track Meet here in Austin. We'll see you guys tomorrow. So long, everybody.